Radio Triangular, restoring everything in Christ with love and truth. With community news, I'm Justina. Matandiko, Mukuka. Kindly be informed that we're also streaming live on the Radio Triangular Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. The headlines: video circulating which is marred with images of dead bodies at police command. Various correctional facilities being rehabilitated, and Collins Sikombe joins Lusaka Dynamos Football Club on a permanent deal. And now community news in detail. Police say a video is circulating on various social media platforms alleging and purporting that there is a scheme by the Patriotic Front government to plunge the country into chaos. According to police command, the video is marred with images of dead bodies all over in the streets and people hacking each other. Inspector General of Police Kakuma Kanganja says in a media statement that the video is bent on inciting violence among the general citizenry and also inciting people to rise against the government. The IG has since called upon members of the public not to panic, but treat the same video with utmost contempt it deserves. Mr. Kanganja said this type of propaganda was very dangerous for the peaceful country and must not be entertained. He said, I beg your pardon, he has since ordered officers to immediately get down to the bottom of the same documentary and bring the perpetrators to face the wrath of the law. Political parties have been cautioned against victimizing the media as the nation heads towards the 2021 general elections. Chilawombe-based politician Paul Kabuswe says the media should be allowed to operate freely ahead of next year's polls. Speaking to Radio Chengelo News in Chilawombe, Mr. Kabuswe reminded political parties that journalists play a vital role in informing the masses on various national issues.
Allow you to cover politicians that you want to cover. There shouldn't be political violence between cadres. There shouldn't be political violence, especially if you are supported by security, by Shani. It's wreaking a lot of havoc because some people don't understand what it means to have party security. So I think that we must not tolerate political violence in any way. And it starts with us leaders to condemn it, not to tolerate it, and to put across a peaceful environment so that people can elect their leaders freely without any undue influence.
The Zambia Correctional Services has revealed that most centers within the correctional service are being rehabilitated in a bid to create increased space in prisons. Zambia Correctional Service Commissioner for Corrections and Extension Services, Tobias Mwanza, said the congested facilities need to be decongested. Commissioner Mwanza added that the current construction works of the state-of-the-art Mwembeshi Correctional Facility would help decongest some correctional centers. He spoke to Radio Chengelo News.
Government has done a lot, visible to everybody to see. Some centers within the correctional service that have been rehabilitated, and and space has been increased. There is now the construction of the state-of-the-art Mwembeshi correctional facilities, and all that is meant to decongest the correctional centers.
A Copperpot University lecturer is calling for the protection of fruit bats that have recently started congregating in large numbers in Kitwe and in Dola. Ketriona Tsompolapiri has more in the following report.
Between October and December each year, about 10 million straw-colored fruit bats descend into a tiny patch of evergreen swamp forest inside the Kasanka National Park, northern Zambia. The natural phenomena is unique only to Kasanka. But in recent years, a congregation of bats has been observed in Kitwe between the Zambia Revenue Authority offices and Kitwe City Council, and in Ndola between Kabinga and Fitente roads. In Kitwe, for instance, the bats leave ZRA offices some minutes after 18 hours and return to the same venue the following day at around 04:30 hours. And this migration happens daily between the months of October and December. It has also been observed that the bats seem to be attracted to eucalyptus trees that are situated in the area. Moses Chibesa, a lecturer from the Copperbelt University CPU in the School of Natural Resources, now endeavors to explain why the fruit bats may have found themselves in the urban setting.
Why do they move? Well, so many explanations has been put forward. Others, they say maybe they are running away to a region where they are persecuted or there's too much hunting pressure. Or are they running away from regions where there is other animals trying to feed on them? We call it maybe predation pressure. But one of the explanations which has stood out is that they are trying to track the availability of food. They are called fruit bats because the majority of their diet constitutes, fruits. So the changes or the shifts in the fruit, availability will inform on their movements. So across Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa, you find that different countries receive rainfall at different times. So that, also informs on the influx of, fruits in different countries. So as the variation of fruits, persists in or exists in these different countries, so these, bats are forced to migrate to follow, areas where there is available fruits.
In view of this recent migration of fruit bats in Kitwe, the CPU lecturer has also made an earnest appeal to protect the bat species.
Bats are important, animals or mammals to our environment. They are the farmers of the forest and they plant all these, indigenous fruiting trees, most of them which we like, on our behalf. But please, my appeal is that let us not cut, especially to the Zadara and the council officers here, please, let us not think of even cutting the trees where they are roasting.
Well, there you have it. But for researchers, critical questions concerning the fruit bats still remain. Where do the fruit bats come from? How long a distance do they migrate? Where do they go? And why do they roost in particular trees? Reporting for Radio Chenglu News, I am Kichiona Chisonkola Piri in Kitwe.
Thank you very much, Katriona, for that report. Motorists and commuters in Ndola have bemoaned the continued erratic fuel supply, especially petrol. Ndola and some parts of the country are currently experiencing low fuel supply that has seen motorists queuing up at filling stations to buy the commodity. Some taxi drivers interviewed by Radio Chengelo News on Broadway Road said fuel shortage has negatively affected their business.
Anafie biwombere naibite sikatinga kwasangwa pali petro uli chifafule pava kiu naomba ushite oloye mukubomba wala bomba shitachi pose kofia mano ile vefira fine fo ya mafuta yale shupa kwene tachiti bwino sana kozi sangwa ati nshita ya kubomba ikuru ya mukufwa mafuta mwapita bapa feeling mwayo ku feeling takodi wala sanga ati nshita yose wapushya ku feeling station never affected nshita kweba ati nje kunganda nje kunchi ndechikwa so production yewela panuma. That's what Takwatema minister, Takwata president, Takwata minister, who are in charge of fuel, minister of energy, of Villa Posa, man, to be in place. The government must be serious. I'm a motoka, Motungira Navakash, Mosungira families, Motripilla Malentos. So at least we don't have enough reserve. We can get from our neighbor countries.
Patriotic Front PF Copperbelt chairperson Nathan Chanda has called for peace and unity among various chieftains. Speaking when he visited Chieftainess Shimukunami's palace in the company of his vice chairperson, Dr. Jonas Chanda, yesterday, Palwan Shumeya said it was sad that some sections of society want to divide the nation by not supporting the current government. Mr. Chanda also noted that it was saddening that some lawmakers did not support Bill 10, which was also going to benefit traditional leaders and help resolve some wrangles they may be having.
Pointing state of affairs where some opposition members of parliament frustrated Bill 10, which Bill 10 would have benefited our traditional leaders and the people of Fanyama, because Fanyama as a constituency is very vast, meaning CDF would have been added on board, and some of the wrangles that are surrounding you traditional leaders, I'm aware here in Fanyama of wrangles in Chifu, which have not been resolved.
Community news comes to you in the community service of Radio Ichengelo with the compliments of Indo-Zambia Bank. In sports, Napsa Stars midfielder Colin Sikombe has joined Lusaka Dynamos Football Club on a permanent deal. The club, through its technical director, Ona Janza, has since expressed gratitude to the player who has proved to be one of the best in Zambia. Janza said Sikombe, who was last season's club goal scorer, helped the pensioners to secure a place in the CAF Confederation Cup. This is according to Napsa Stars Media and Public Relations Officer Gwen Basula. Friends, that is where we end our community news. We take a look at the stories that made headlines. A video circulating which is marred with images of dead bodies Eric's police commander on a permanent deal. For this and more stories, you can visit our Facebook page. Log on to Facebook and like the Radio Ichengelo page and link to radioichengelo.radio12345.com. And now the weather update is produced by the Ministry of Transport and Communications. Much of the eastern half of Zambia, including northwestern province, will be under the influence of winds from the northwest direction, leading to a chance of isolated showers. The rest of the country will be affected by winds from the eastern direction, resulting in mainly sunny, windy, and hot weather conditions. Remember to play your part in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic by adhering to the safety guidelines as outlined by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization. Wear a mask when in public. Avoid large groups and maintain social distance. Avoid unnecessary movements and wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds. And remember to always cover your cough with a flexed elbow. Hand Justina and Poyakauma, technician on duty. My name is Justina Matandiko Mukuka. Have a wonderful afternoon.